Alright, hey everybody. Sorry that I slowed down a bit on the recordings, considering that I was able to consecutively get the first 5 episodes of Season 6 up already. Thing is, I've been pretty busy with dance team, basically, and I was not expecting to have practice from 6 to 9. I was not expecting that, but I'm getting through it as much as possible, and also I've been busy with schoolwork and also trying to stay on top of that. So, sorry if the recordings have slowed down a bit. That being said, we're just going to judge right into the next episode, which is an episode that I don't understand what the hatred all about it. That episode is No Second Prances, like No Second Chances. So this episode begins with Twilight giving a dining lesson to Starlight Glimmer. I just love that expression. Also, Twilight is magic. You don't have to explain it, because you use magic.
What? I said no magic. You were supposed to do it by book, so I've been working a friendship lesson. Oh, I heard set the table and you kind of went for it. Well, if you hadn't used magic, you'd have heard me say, this plate represents your head, this would your heart, and the knives are sharp.
And could possibly, but then again, now that I'm looking closer at it, it almost seems like more of a butter knife, but I'm not sure how badly it is, but I'm sure it could still cause major injury, but still. Oh, at least it wasn't like a sharper knife you used to cut chicken.
Always be careful with knives.
No kidding.
The metaphor makes more sense when you're actually setting the table. Should I change it back? I just want to make sure you're ready for listeners. Princess Celestia will be joining us tomorrow night to see how the friendship lessons are going.
Convenient.
It's just you, me, and Princess Celestia. Why are there 4 seats? Well, the whole point is for you to bring in new friends. That way the princess will see for herself just how far you've come.
So Starlight basically has to find a new friend and has to search all over Ponyville, and obviously to start out with, she tries spending time with the main 6.
How are you, dearie? Are you baking? Can I help?
But of course, magic tends to get in the way and causes, let's just say, a big misunderstanding. So she stops by Applejack next to see if she can try to make friends with Big Mac.
Starlight. Meet Big Mac. He's not much of a talker.
Nope.
Oh, that's too bad. I love a good conversation.
And you know where this is going. She gets magic to basically get Big Mac to talk more and it causes Applejack to get mad, but really, can you blame Starlight, honestly, for that, really? I feel like Applejack always tends to hold grudges against everybody when something goes wrong. Whatever. So Starlight goes to Rarity next.
Great. First impressions count a great deal. I'm glad you all got to have my first impression. Yeah, everybody deserves a second chance. So now.
Well, she is right about that. I'm glad they kind of picked that up, considering that, like, the transitions between from, like, one episode to the next was kind of, there.
I have a top notch idea. I'm thinking from here and here, with kernels underneath. You really think a new outfit will help me meet Pony? Oh, with the right outfit, you can do anything, darling. When will it be ready? 3 weeks.
Well, then again, designers from Project Runway can get it done in about a day or so, so 3 weeks is nothing, unless you're making 10 outfits.
Tomorrow. Perfect. How about half of the clearance bin?
Huh. So Rarity does have a clearance pile. I guess it's just all for the projected ideas she doesn't use.
Maybe not.
And so after that, obviously that object doesn't go anywhere. She then goes to talk to Rainbow Dash.
Because of your outfit. You always say you want a new friend, Drayton. It's like you? Yeah, but you already know me, so.
You better not say Gilda because I mean you're on good terms with Gilda now, but let's just say things have not gone well when it comes to introducing new friends.
Spitfire! Sorry. Who's that? Only the wonderful is Pony and the Wonderful. Come on, I'll introduce you.
And obviously, because Starlight has been in the village for God knows how long, it's pretty obvious that she doesn't know who Spitfire is. And we get this reaction from Rainbow Dash.
I guess the first question would be, what's the Wonderful? You've never heard of the Wonderful? Where have you been?
Then, hey, it's the reaction that bronies have whenever they try to introduce the show and they don't know who the characters are.
Enslaving villages, like
I think you can take out the enslaving part about it. I guess I could probably say that's the one thing I probably don't like about Star. I mean, it's good and all to show how far she's grown, and we can get. And I've gone past the whole her enslaving villages, but does she really have to bring it up every time? Like every time she brings up to explain why she acts a certain way, it's pretty much the equivalent of a sledgehammer just bashing it into your head. Like, yeah, we get it. You don't have to say it every time. So surprisingly, after she talks to Fluttershy, and amazingly, Angel does not act like a dick to Starlight. So that's one person Angel actually likes. We pretty much see Starlight, the reaction that we get when we when you haven't studied for an exam and you have to take care of everything in the night.
I can't make a friend here. There's got to be something wrong with me. Okay, come in. Be friends with a total fret piece.
That's pretty much me when I have to take an exam, and even though I'm told by my professors it's easy, but you basically become overly stressed about it. I think that's the reaction everybody has at some point or another. So Starlight decides to go to the spa and relax, and she starts talking with a very familiar voice.
Oh, one of those days. I'm going to start coming here every time I visit Ponyville. I'm not from here either. I've been trying to make friends, but it's not easy. They're not saying it, but I think every pony knows about my past. I maybe have been a tiny bit completely and utterly evil.
Well, and on top, well, first of all, I do actually have to ask, how did everybody in Ponyville know about Starlight's evil in one night? Did Twilight just tell it to Mayor and then just spread the word about it? With all that in mind, I'm surprised that Hyde said in the finale that the citizens of Ponyville didn't form an angry mob when Starlight was in the castle.
He's judging me on their past, too. Only I can relate to.
So thus, Starlight returns to Twilight and tells about her new friend, and it turns out to be Trixie.
You know each other? You could say that. We've had our differences. What matters is Twilight gave me a second chance, and I appreciate it.
Alright. So, one of the problems that I've heard about this episode is that people didn't like, once again, the character 180 of Starlight not forgiving Trixie. Again, it's like people don't really use the words 180. And honestly, looking back, I have to say I still don't like Magic Duel. One of the big problems I had with the episode is that after everything Trixie was done, after all the Trixie had done in the episode, I felt like the Trixie got a slap on the wrist. Of how Twilight was so easily able to forgive her just like that. That was one of the major problems that I've had with the episode that nobody really seems to address. Aside from some other issues, but I'm not going to turn this into a diatribe of a magic duel again. Because trust me, watching the episode a third time is painful enough. But anyways, what I like about the episode is honestly what everybody complains about. I like that Twilight hasn't completely forgiven Trixie. Because, yeah, it's been like 3 seasons, but those feelings don't go magically overnight. And given how egotistical Trixie can be, it's kind of really hard to completely forgive her. So, honestly, unlike a lot of people, I honestly don't blame Twilight for being suspicious and not fully forgiving Trixie. And again, this episode actually fixes one of my complaints that I've had about Magic Duel.
So, what brings you to Ponyville? The great and powerful Trixie has come to perform a new stage show of morale change. I'm calling it the Powerful and Penitent Trixie's Equestrian Apology Tour. Just a working title.
I was just gonna say.
Starlight? Come on, over here. I said make friends with any pony, but, well, with Trixie's past and your past, I'm not so sure she's the best first friend.
See, okay, well, to be fair for the people who may complain about that, I'm admittingly, and we'll get to it soon, that Twilight's intervention does eventually get kind of annoying, but at the same time, can you really blame her? Like I said, considering all that Trixie has done, even though it's been like 3 seasons, it's not something you can just easily forgive and forget overnight. Honestly, see, I still haven't forgiven her after everything she did, honestly. So, yeah, even though Twilight's interventions that, again, we're going to get to soon, do get kind of annoying, at the same time, I don't really blame her, really.
But whatever she did, you've forgiven her, right? Of course. It's just, she wasn't the nicest pony. Well, you did say any pony, and I just assumed that you trust me to make my own friends the way Princess Celestia trusted you.
Starlight does have a pretty good argument. I mean, when you say any pony, and relevant to basically saying anybody, that basically means you can choose whoever you want. So, technically, Twilight, you did give Starlight free range to pick whoever she wanted. And plus, I'm sure Starlight would have told you that the other encounters with the rest of the main 6 wouldn't have gone so well.
You're right. I trust you. Just be back in time for the dinner. Thanks, Twilight. You won't regret it. I hope not.
Again, considering how Trixie can be egotistical, can you honestly really blame Twilight? Well, and I guess Trixie also will pull the Toru and basically trying to... So basically Trixie explained how people obviously haven't forgiven her, because again, I don't really blame them after all she did, which, in case you haven't forgotten, enslaved all of Ponyville through an evil magical amulet just because she was jealous of Twilight for pretty much saving her ass.
What is it? I heard what Twilight said about you.
Well, then again, and you all were pretty much in the same room, so can you honestly really blame Trixie?
She's right. He wasn't very nice. So I understand if you didn't want to be friends. Are you kidding? You're the first pony I've met who has any idea how I feel. Can you keep a secret? What are friends for? The things I've done, I did them because I was jealous of Twilight. She
And that was exactly why I got upset about the whole apology and pretty much Magic Duel in general. Aside from a bunch of other things, but again, I don't want to turn this review into another diatribe of Magic Duel.
Your secret stays with me. Thanks. Want to help me unpack my wagon? I spend a lot of time on the road with my wagon, so it might be a tad messy. Maybe I can help. I'm pretty good at organizing stuff. Snatch props, brainwash crowds.
Alright, and this is where I was going to get to about the whole Twilight intervention thing. Basically, during the walk, Twilight tries to intervene and basically spy on Starlight and to pretty much force Starlight to make friends instead of Trixie.
Perfect friend.
Starting with Vinyl Scratch and then basically with Derpy and Cranky. And understandably, Starlight gets a little bit annoyed. And as I said before, I can definitely understand where Twilight is coming from, but kind of treating Starlight like she's some kind of child does get kind of annoying.
I was thinking, you said Twilight is better than you at everything, but that's not true. You're better at magic. Only when I'm wearing a soul-sucking evil amulet, so I don't think that counts.
Also kind of makes you wonder whatever happened to that amulet. But then again, it's pretty much like the Book of the Evil Dead. It was never meant for the world of the living.
Funny story. Don't need to get into it. I'm the stage magic. Well, of course. Great. Yeah. Powerful, obviously. But I'm not the best.
Yes. Also, your two idiot followers also pissed off and Ursa. Well, two of them. I'm really...
Big and powerful as I am, there is one trick I've never been able to do. The moonstick magic. Only one magician has ever pulled it off. My hero, Houdini.
Get it? Because it's like Houdini and it's but it will replace the D with the F. Genius satire.
You are supposed to blast her.
So basically, Trixie wants to pull off this magic trick that nobody's ever pulled off before and wants Starlight's help.
For the trick, and right before you got shut up, I could use magic to save you and make you appear in the black box. I guess that would work, but if you made one mistake, I'd be a goner. When it comes to magic, I don't make mistakes. Maybe I could be your magic show helper pony. We call it assistant in the magician biz, and no pony's ever offered to help before. Well, I'd be honored. You have just made my great and powerful magic show even better, which I didn't think was possible. We're gonna blow them away tonight. Oh, I can't.
But then, of course, oh yeah, the dinner with Celestia. Admittedly, I honestly forgot about that too, so honestly I don't really blame Starlight. But of course, being how arrogant and egotistical she is, Trixie convinces Starlight to stay.
Well, lucky for Princess Twilight, I have my magic show tonight. If you have to go to the dinner, I completely understand. I just hope I find a way to survive the moonshot manticore mouth dive without the new assistant.
Kind of amazing how Kathleen Barr can be just as dramatic as Tabitha St. Germain. It's kind of surprised I was hearing that from Marie from Ed, Edd n Eddy and Galore from Hot Wheels Acceleracers. But then again, she also voiced Priscilla, so I guess that's kind of the same thing. And, oh yeah, speaking of the dinner, we're actually at that. And is awkward to say the least.
Any minute now. How about I introduce everyone? Our friendship lessons are going so well.
I like how Celestia's just like, Twilight, you know as well as me that Starlight isn't here. You should know exactly what's going on here.
She made 3 new friends.
Correction, and Twilight, you made 3 new friends. Or rather, you forced her to make 3 friends, which you didn't even know.
She has such great taste in friends. I don't know where she would have learned that, but...
Starlight Glimmer? I thought you said nose hair trimmers. What's going on?
So Twilight also lied to them. Good to know. Also, what does a donkey need with nose hair trimmers anyways?
I'm hungry.
Oh, I can see why. Because now that I'm looking really up close, I can see the nose hairs coming out of Cranky's nose. If you really want nose trimmers that badly, just squeeze them out.
And my nose is too hairy.
Cranky Doodle! You're so funny! If you'll excuse me, I gotta shoot the kitchen. Maybe she got lost amongst the, artichokes.
Or you can make a more reasonable excuse how she got lost in the castle. As we plainly saw the first episode of the season, she got lost pretty easily in the castle. Though then again, kind of 4 episodes later, it kind of makes you wonder how she managed to navigate all that. But I digress. So, big surprise, she eventually figures Trixie is showing up and reprimands Starlight.
Now, telling me, are you aware that at this very moment, Princess Celestia is waiting for you at a table with exquisite silverware placement?
I think the silverware is the least of your problems.
Yes, but this is exactly why I didn't want you to make friends with Trixie. You still don't trust me. But guess what? Then fast. It doesn't matter if you want to give me a second chance or not.
See, is it any wonder why I still hate Magic Duel to this day? And everybody seems to give that episode, okay, dead horse. But you get my point. That being said, and because Trixie's just as arrogant and egotistical, she basically puts her foot in her mouth and breaks Starlight's feelings.
Yeah, I am your friend. Well, you won. I hope you're happy. Looks like the great and powerful Trixie is back to the solo show. Trixie? Which is exactly the way she likes it. Thank you, Princess Twilight, for getting rid of that annoying pony who wanted to be my first friend. I am not sad at all. I definitely don't feel like my heart is breaking into a million pieces.
So the moral of the story is, everybody is a horrible pony. And because of this, Trixie basically loses her motivation and her loud, boisterous voice basically turns into a small whisper.
Come on! Come and see the pathetic and friendless Trixie's way to go, dum-dum. You really messed it up this time. Repentance tour. It's a working title!
Okay, that reaction definitely gets a laugh out of me.
Behold, your fears come true. A pony-eating manticore.
Which kind of makes me wonder that she had to go to the Everfree Forest to capture the Manticore. Kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen to it after that. Also, I'm kind of amazed that Fluttershy is scared of the Manticore, considering and that's literally the same Manticore that she tamed all the way back in Season 1.
For tonight, the great and powerful Trixie will be performing the Moonshot Manticore Outside. Now, save your gas for when I defy the beast's jaws of doom and appear inside that...
I like how the audience is just standing there amazed and they're not asking, why is Trixie basically acting like she's not caring at this point? It's really kind of amazing how nobody raises that objection.
I was supposed to perform this trick with my great and powerful assistant, who was also my great and powerful friend.
I'm surprised nobody is making it obvious. But it also turns out that Starlight never went back to the castle. She was actually just watching the show from a distance. And Twilight basically comes in saying, oh yeah, I think I kind of screwed up too.
Starlight, when I first came to Glee, Princess Celestia gave me room to make my own decisions. And my own friends. I need to give you the same freedom.
No shit, Sherlock.
I shouldn't have tried to pick and choose your friends for you.
Again, no shit, Sherlock.
Just like me, you have to make your own decisions and your own friends. But what if Trixie really was using me just to one-up you? From what I've seen, she's the real thing. But it's not my place to judge. It's all up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that this talk about the moral of the episode is nice, but Trixie is about to get shot out of a cannon and get eaten alive by a mystical creature, and will probably die, so I think we're kind of gonna have to speed this up.
Starlight, if you're out there, and you still want to be friends, let's be great and powerful together. Please?
But of course, you know what happens. Starlight uses her magic to save Trixie, and they manage to make up.
And now, I'm proud to introduce my great and powerful assistant and best friend, Starlight Glimmer. Trixie, what do you want? I was wrong. I'm sorry. And I have to hand it to you. I could never have pulled off a trick like that.
Yeah, you could, you liar.
Thank you, Princess.
You think it would be the end of the episode, like basically Starlight and Trixie lighting the fireworks? You'd think that would be the end, but no, it actually cuts back to the dinner with the statue pretty much melting, and Celestia's still sitting with Derpy, Vinyl Scratch, and Cranky. It's like, how long has it been sitting there?
How do you get your hair to do that all the time?
I like how Celestia's just like, ugh, this is so not worth it. Twilight's gonna have to do this again another time, but I should probably just meet with Starlight one-on-one next time. And that was No Second Prances. I know I have to keep saying this for certain episodes that other reviewers tend to hate, but, what were the complaints again? Honestly, there's not really a lot bad about the episode, and I think a lot of people are just overreacting about the whole continuity with Magic Duel. For me, at least, Magic Duel was an episode that I found to be, yeah, I'm not going to mince words, I didn't like the episode, and I found it to be very overrated. This episode fixes a lot of the problems that I had about this episode, so by basically addressing that even though it's okay to forgive, it's not, when the actions are so bad, it's not easy to forgive overnight. Right. And on top of that, I can definitely understand the situations that the characters are going through. Starlight struggling to make a friend while also not trying to act like a complete nutcase and stressing over the whole thing. And including Twilight being overprotective, which, yeah, as I said, it can get a bit annoying, and I will admit she did act out of line without considering of Starlight's feelings. And the same thing can be said about Trixie, where she can still be egotistical and arrogant, but obviously the last act showed that she did show genuine feelings for Starlight and did show legit change. So it doesn't really and in this episode, Trixie's boasting didn't really annoy me as it did in both Ghostbusters and Magic Duel. And it really kind of shows how far both Starlight and Trixie have come a long way, honestly. there's honestly nothing, again, there's nothing really bad about the episode that a lot of people are just making it out to be. The only thing is that I can think of is that Twilight's overprotectiveness can be a tad bit annoying, and she can get out of line. But at the same time, you basically understand the situations, and can you honestly really blame her? So, I think, honestly, as a whole, I would probably say No Second Prances is probably a B+. I honestly think it's a good episode, and I think people are just giving way too much overreaction about it. So, yeah. So, with that said, No Second Prances is pretty much a B+. Next time, alright, so with that, next time we'll be looking at UB Dash. Oh, shit. Well, gotta make do what we gotta do. So again, I will see you guys next time when I review Newbie Dash. See ya.